Welcome to this intensive tutorial on creating an RPG inventory system in Java. In this video, we will go step by step into building a functional inventory system that can be used in your RPG games. First, let's outline the key components we are going to build. We need classes for items, the inventory itself, and methods to add, remove, and display items. We'll start by creating an item class. This class will represent individual items in the inventory. Let's define some basic properties such as name, type, and value. In this item class, we have a constructor to initialize our item properties and getter methods to access them later. Now, let's move on to the inventory class. The inventory class will manage a list of items. We can utilize an array list for this purpose and include methods to add, remove, and list items in the inventory. Here's what we've added to the inventory class. An array list to hold our items, a method to add new items, a method to remove items based on their name, and a method to display the current inventory. Next, let's test the functionality of our classes in a main method. In the main method, we create a new inventory object and a few item objects. We add these items to the inventory and display the current inventory. Then, we remove an item and display the inventory again. Let's run the code to see how it works. Great! Our basic inventory system is up and running. Now, let's expand on this by adding a maximum inventory size to limit how many items can be stored. Here, we added a constant for the maximum inventory size and updated the add item method to check if the inventory is full before adding a new item. Let's check if this change works correctly. Now, let's modify the main method to test this new limitation. We will try adding more items than our maximum inventory size allows. With this loop, we will try to add 12 items to our inventory, but we should only be able to add 10. Let's run the code and confirm this behavior. Now that we have our inventory size limitation working, let's add a feature where we can use items from the inventory. For this, we can create a method to use an item, which might involve removing it. You can call this method with the name of the item you want to use. It will check if the item exists in the inventory, print a message that it's being used, and then remove it. Let's test the new use item functionality in the main method. After adding some items, we can attempt to use an item from the inventory. Here, we call the use item method with the name of our potion and then display the current inventory to see the effect. As you can see, our inventory system is starting to take shape. For the next step, let's consider adding weights to items, which could affect what a player can carry based on their weight limit. We've modified the item class to include a weight property and adjusted the constructor accordingly. Now let's ensure we keep track of the total weight in the inventory. We've added a total weight property to the inventory, and now the add item method will check if adding a new item exceeds a predefined maximum weight limit. Let's create a constant for our maximum allowed weight and adjust the main method to demonstrate this added feature. When we run this code, we should see whether our inventory can accept the heavy item based on the weight restrictions. This added layer introduces a more strategic element to the inventory system. If players want to carry more items, they'll need to manage the weights efficiently. One additional feature we can implement is to save and load the inventory state. This allows players to save their progress and restore it later. With these methods, you can save the current state of the inventory to a file and load items back into the game later. In the main method, you can easily test the save and load functionality after manipulating the inventory. Let's run this code to ensure the inventory can be saved and loaded correctly. This is vital for RPGs where player progress needs to be retained. We've covered a lot today in building our RPG inventory system. Let's summarize what we've achieved. We created an item class, built an inventory class, implemented item usage, enforced inventory size constraints, added weights to items, and enabled save/load functionality. Before we wrap up, if you have suggestions for further enhancing this inventory system, please leave a comment below. Your feedback is invaluable. Thank you for watching this Java programming tutorial. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tutorials on game development in Java.